Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Viewers Voices, the show that is dedicated to people who take the trouble to watch my Donu's World videos, which come out on Wednesdays and Fridays. Please excuse my appearance. I'm so tired. I couldn't even bother to wear earrings, any form of jewelry. No lipstick, no powder. You'll have to take me as I am. So let's look at who has been in touch. Well, we're always a little bit behind with the Friday videos. So this is not these are reactions to the video that appeared on Good Friday, not 2 days ago. And the first one was from Emma J Music. And she says, he was a rebel in his time. He walked his talk, amongst other moral and ethical things. Jesus preached self-love and universal love and paid the ultimate price. A day for deep reflection. Thank you, Donu. I say amen and thank you to you. Good Friday is always a very special day in the Christian calendar and good time for some somber reflection. And then there's Natalie Francis, who said, thank you, Donu, for highlighting the day. I hope you're inspired by the deliverance and hope that Good Friday represents. I was. Thank you. And then there's Patricia Wask, who says, happy Good Friday, Donu. I'm looking forward to the new online club launch, about which more later. I am currently at my Champion Labrador dog breeder's property because our co-owned chocolate Labrador, Amelia, gave birth to 9 puppies yesterday. I've actually seen the 9 puppies because Patricia sent me pictures of them on Facebook Messenger. So cute. And she said they were born via cesarean section, and she's going to be there for a few days cooking for and assisting her wonderful breeder friend, Sally, with the care of the whelping mother and litter. Well, those of you who don't know much about dogs may not fully understand what whelping means. I used to have a dog, so I kind of know. But, Patricia's being a good mom to her dogs. And she says, happy Easter. And we did indeed have a very happy Easter. Patricia Russell also wishes me and my family happy Easter. And I hope you and yours also had a great day. And Patricia Russell also wished me well on Good Friday. So I shall now move on to comments from last Wednesday's video, because as regulars know, Fridays are about my week and life in general and food for thought and bits and pieces, whereas Wednesdays are very specifically about Nigeria, and it's called Nigeria Unfiltered, usually a complaint about the government in one form or the other. So let's see what people are saying about my comments last Wednesday. So Jude Webb says she feels for me and all of us. Presumably she means in Nigeria, because I'm complaining about what a terrible state the country is in at the moment. And she says, stay safe. Sadly, this is true in other countries. And that is true. Sometimes when we're obsessing about what's happening in Nigeria, we forget that there are countries where they're also facing similar challenges, and in fact, in many instances, far worse challenges. I mean, imagine being a woman in Afghanistan right now, for example. It doesn't bear thinking about. Or somebody trapped in the war zone in Ukraine, So please forgive me if sometimes I sound as if Nigeria is the worst place on earth, and if we're the only ones who are suffering. I'm very aware that, the world is full of unhappiness and injustice. Then there's someone here who is called Bibi Moji, and she's commenting specifically on the topic I covered in the Nigeria Unfiltered video last Wednesday. And she says, Atiku warned this since last year. Atiku is one of the top opposition leaders here in Nigeria. And I was complaining about the destruction of the opposition by an extremely undemocratic president and government. And, they play all kinds of nasty tricks to make sure that there's no balanced democratic political landscape. And so Bibi Moji says, Atiku warned that this would happen since last year. It was very clear to him, hence why he was pursuing the formation of a coalition using a new political vehicle. So there's a lot of activity. Some of the smaller opposition parties are coming together to fight the party that's running the country at the moment. And Bibi says another southern candidate cannot replace the Tinubu because that candidate will surely serve 2 terms. This is all a bit technical for people who are not Nigerian, but I know what she means and Nigerians will know what she means. As will anybody who takes the trouble to read about the way Nigerian political system is constructed. But I'm not saying that I wouldn't bother if I were you. If I weren't Nigeria, I wouldn't bother. But some people do. I mean, like Patricia Wask is becoming a bit of an expert on Nigeria. So, Bibi, I hear you. When you say that the best bet for the coalition is an Atiku Obi ticket. I don't agree with you though, because Atiku and Obi ran together in 2019 and they didn't make any particular progress. Obi flew really high and very close to victory in 2023 when he ran on his own without Atiku. Now, I don't mean to be hostile towards Atiku, because I know him, pleasant guy, he has his faults, he's made his mistakes. I've got nothing against him. But I just think that he's a bit of a spent force politically and that Obi will gain very little from partnering with him. But, I could be wrong. Aren't there any other northern candidates who aren't nearly 80 years old and, who are fresh names that might inspire fresh hope? This is the question. Then Patricia says, it's the same BS here in America. Our corrupt federal judges and Democrats are completely tone deaf. They are all screaming, crying, and protesting to obstruct and prevent the deportation of violent, barbaric Venezuelan trend. These are basically Latin American gangsters, she says, who live in America, some of them illegally. And she's praising the Trump administration for trying to get rid of them back to their own countries. And she says, President Trump won the election by promising to get these dangerous thugs out of here. But no, these idiots, I think she means the Democrats and, the opposition, Trump's opponents. She says, they haven't gotten the message. It's infuriating. Okay? Nigeria is absolutely no different from Nigeria. Our politicians and government officials aren't defending freedom or our rights or safety and tax dollars. They're defending terrorists. Well, Patricia and I are on 2 totally different pages when it comes to this whole Trump thing. I mean, I'm a Democrat, or I would be if I was an American citizen or voter. But, I hear you, Patricia. And I think everybody should be concerned about this whole issue of immigration and undesirables who are staying illegally in one country or the other. We have undesirables who are lodged in Nigeria causing mayhem, terrorists, bandits, and the government here is displaying no commitment to getting rid of them. At least Trump is trying to get rid of the bad ones. But my problem with Trump is he seems to sort of just generally dislike foreigners, especially black and brown ones. But hey, maybe you don't agree with me, but that's what I think. So it's like Trump is one extreme, the Nigerian government is the other extreme. And in the end, really, what can I tell you? I'm not impressed by either. Then there's Julie Dyer, who's a friend of mine, actually. Julie, I didn't know you were one of my subscribers. Thank you. And she says, it's such a pity about the deconstruction of democracy in Nigeria, as inequitably as it has been dispensed since the inception of the Third Republic after military rule. Nigeria stood as a beam of hope for the emerging dawn of democracy and development in Africa. It is painful to helplessly watch it all frittered away for the incoming generation, led by a man that is Tinubu, our president, our very undear president, who rightfully should be in retirement, enjoying his wealth made on the back of questionable means. Nigeria defies all manner of logic with its ever-determined means to self-sabotage and inclination to taking 3 steps back for every single index it earns on the scorecard for making progress. Well, Julie, I'm very impressed. That was an extremely articulate way of putting the problems we face in this country. I totally agree with you. By the way, Julie and I both belong to a group called Rescue Rivers, which is a long story. If you want to know about that, go and watch my Wednesday videos for the past few weeks. Then you'll know why Julie and I are in a strop with this government. And then Julie again, and then Dixon Igwe. Nigeria was always an oligarchy. Silent powers rule, and democracy is a simple charade. Tinubu is simply the man at the head of Nigeria's oligarchy presently. So there's no point in stressing about a one-party state, as in essence, Nigeria has always been a unitary state with a few wealthy and powerful men who rule from behind the scenes. Well, yeah, I must say that, I feel like giving up. You're right. It's always been, there's a very popular Nigerian singer. He used to be very popular. And Tunji Oyelano was his name. And he sang this really amazing song. It was a kind of satire. And he said Nigeria was spoiled from the start. And I think we never really got off to a healthy start, and we're still wallowing in crap now. But it seems to get worse and worse with each new government. Okay? And then finally, Kingsley Alarechi, Nigeria, or Alarechi, I think is a Nigerian name, the correct pronunciation. Nigeria is really on the precipice to a great extent, with the legislature and the judiciary in the pocket of the executive. And, Kingsley, your letter will linger a little bit on the screen so that people can read it. Actually, it's not that long. Let me quickly finish it, because we try to keep these videos fairly short, because we know that people get bored if they last more than like 10 minutes, And it says, where the judicial pronouncements are misinterpreted and disobeyed without consequences, the politicians' dance to a one-party condition is purely for their selfish survival. Would the suffering masses agree to be dragged by the nose in agreement? I'm thinking the whole scenario is heading for a major shake-up in our polity. The future is always pregnant. That's a very good way to end today's comments section. Let me remind you that we have started a new online club. Is going to be launched very soon, and that the page on which you can register is already up and running. The website address is on the screen, and the link is below the screen in the blurb below the video. Please, as I said before, your ideas and your participation will be much appreciated. This club is an experiment. Let's see whether there's any big appetite from Donu's World viewers to communicate more with each other and more with me, and to share our ideas and thoughts, and even to have disagreements. It's kind of like a giant chat room, but there'll be other components like a book club and what have you. And men are welcome as women, because of course, me being a sort of an older woman, I'm likely to attract more women of my type, my generation. But young men, young women, people of all races, all religions are very welcome. Please sign up to the club. Let's see how we can make a success of it. And hope you'll all tune into my videos next week as well. Thank you very much for listening.